So this week the girls fight a venom serpent in a drifting pond. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach the Nerd, and in this episode we are talking about Yashahime, episode 11, entitled Curse of the Man-Eating Pond. So this episode was, again, I guess an equivalent of a filler episode. We didn't get any real progression to the actual Sesshomaru, where the heck is Inuyasha and Kagome, where is Sango and Moroku and their children, and the plot. It's more of dealing with the siblings again. So it starts off with Moroha being very impressive by, I mean, honestly, she puts things in that backpack that Kagome never thought of doing in the OG series. She got a gas grill and she's making pancakes, and I was very proud that she had no idea how to flip it, but she knew how to mix it, unless Towa did it for her, which it didn't seem like that's what happened. But she was trying to figure out, is it burning? What do I do now? And then Towa comes over and flips it and tells her that they are pancakes, and she's like, yeah, there's this mix. Now, she could have read the back, but then it probably would have told her to flip the damn pancake. So I suspend my disbelief a lot in this series, but long story short, and this is a very brief summary because there really wasn't a lot to this episode. Moroha is choking on these pancakes that she shoved in her mouth. She was about to go drink from this pond that looks green and murky. Towa kind of intercepts her, knocks her down, and it causes her to stop choking, which pretty much is not what you do with a choking victim. But you know what? I'm suspending my disbelief again. And Moroha sees a bird fly over the pond, and the pond comes up and basically eats it. Now, true to form in this story, Towa and Setsuna don't believe Moroha when she tells them this. And they're like, oh, you're going to go see Jubei. Have a great day. We're going off to Setsuna's demon hunting village to talk to Koaku, whatever, basically. Because at this point, we all know that Towa is 100% focused on finding the dream butterfly, getting Setsuna's dreams and ability to sleep back, and then she is out. So she's got blinders on, and Setsuna's just kind of doing her own thing. So Moroha is left on her own again, and she basically is forced to go back to Jubei's, and she's being put to work cleaning. And it's like they keep, like ever so often they reveal something, and we know that she got an advancement, but I want to know what this advancement was, that it's taking so long and it's so much for her to pay back. I mean, what was it for? I really want to know. I really want to know what it's for. So, yeah, that's one of the mysteries of this series. I really don't understand and would love to have clarity on. Anyway, so the girls go back to Koaku's place, and he and Hisui are like, oh yeah, there's a man-eating pond, which is basically what Moroha told them, but they don't believe her when she says it. And they're, you need to go take care of it. So they decide to go do that. Well, on their way to check out the pond and slay the demon in it, they meet these two adorable little kids, a little boy and his sister, and they're going, well, the brother's trying to go get revenge for the parents apparently being devoured by this pond. And the sister's trying to stop, the brother, and she falls, and the brother's like, he's got that pain look, but he's still going to go off and revenge his parents in the pond. And Setsuna grabs his arm, and Towa helps the girl, and they go back to their village and stay with their grandmother and them. It's interesting because as they were on their way to the village, Towa says, don't ever let go of your sibling's hand or you'll regret it, basically. And I'm like, this is what the focus of this episode is. Honestly, for me, the stars of this episode were the violin and Towa's guilt for letting go of Setsuna's hand, because that seems to be the overwhelming theme of this series so far. So they're back at the village with a very sweet grandmother, and they're pretty much told what happened. That they realize that Setsuna has an instrument, and the kids' eyes light up because their father played the biwa. The biwa is like this lute, basically. And apparently he took them to the pond with their mother to play, and that's how they got devoured. So my question is this: if this pond has always been known to have a demon in it, and this is just me putting it out there, I could have missed something. The grandmother even said it was murky when she was a child. So they know people disappear at this pond. why did you think it was a smart family outing to go sit by this pond and play the lute? I'm just saying. Like, that's just me putting that in the universe, but whatever. So they get all starry-eyed, and Setsuna basically is talked into playing the violin, and then the kids start crying, and that's when they talk about how their father played the biwa, and he got devoured by the lake, and then they all fall asleep, except Setsuna can't sleep, so she goes outside to sit down and wait for the sun to rise, and Towa sees it and comes out and says, "I'm sorry, the nights must be very long for you," because basically everybody's asleep. And you've got no one to talk to. It's very lonely when everyone's passed out. And she's like, Setsuna's like, well, this has been my life for forever. So, I'm pretty much, it's not a hardship for me because it's all I know. And Towa's like, well, she's going to try and sleep on her sister. And Setsuna was like, you don't know me that way. And then she just walks off. And I'm like, this show. And how Setsuna treats Towa is kind of how they treat Moroha. So in a way, it's kind of round circle or full circle. Myoga does appear in this episode. Well, I want to say you first see him while she gets knocked out. So they go to the pond to fight this demon, and they come to find out there are two demons. There's a venom serpent, and then there's something called a drifting pond. So the pond itself is a demon that protects the bigger demon, which is the venom serpent. And Moroha comes to help, and she gets knocked back, and she's affected by the venom of both of these demons. But, ironically, Towa is only affected by the drifting pond, and Setsuna is affected by the venom serpent. So they basically split up or divide. One takes one on and one takes the other one on. And Setsuna, which I think was very interesting, there early on we learned that there are these herbs that were put around the pond to try and purify it by a sage, and that the venom serpent wouldn't let anyone near it. And Setsuna sees the herbs that Moroha kind of lands in when she gets smacked by the venom serpent when she attacks, because she's like Inuyasha, she just full frontal attacks, screw the consequences. Well, she lands in the herbs, and then Setsuna's like, I hope you dodge this, Moroha, and then she does her cyclone attack and pulls the herbs up, and I'm like, you could have said, Moroha, move. It was like 1 second, but she just does the attack. She picks the herbs and she throws it at the drifting pond, and it dissipates and then dies, basically. And then, of course, Towa is able to slay the venom demon, and essentially the pond, which was rumored to be crystal clear, is now clear. I guess it's interesting because Myoga is like doing what he does best, which is commentate, and he's saying, oh yeah, just like Sesshomaru's children, one's got a venom immunity to this and the other one's got a venom immunity to this, and I'm like, okay, we understand. And Moroha has nothing. Well, she has a lot of spiritual energy, so I'll give her that. I think she definitely has more of her mother's abilities than her father's, but it was just interesting. And then, by the end of the episode, Setsuna is helping Towa out of the water, so holding hands. There's so many little symbolism things that happen in the show, that all tie into the greater good. But that was essentially it. There really wasn't much to this episode. They did show a preview for next week where it looks like Towa actually has the same problem that Inuyasha does, where the new moon causes her to be human, and you see her hair turn black, and she's got like the pink streak, and she looks a lot more like Setsuna with that black hair. They definitely look like twins with that hair, with her hair dark. But, that's next week's episode. So this one really wasn't that exciting to me. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that because, I'm a Yashahime fan. I'm an Inuyasha fan, but I am also very real in my reviews. It was kind of boring. This is definitely, if they had a manga series where this was, basically for Yashahime, where we were up to a certain point and they didn't have any new releases, say COVID took it out and we weren't able to release anything, this would be my definition of a Naruto filler or an old school Inuyasha filler episode, because that's basically what it is. The only thing this episode did was show us just how guilty Towa was and how much Setsuna loves playing that damn violin. And that's literally what I got out of this episode. But yeah, not saying it's good, not saying it was bad, just saying it wasn't that eventful. But that is my opinion, guys. So I really want to know what you think. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on the nerd ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.